COVID-19 is scary enough. Now it's causing nightmares. Check this out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Continuing down this COVID path and our question of, what is it going to take to recover America? And I think Joe Biden is starting to lay out a really comprehensive vision, by the way, of basically doing what European countries are doing: a national testing program, a national contact tracing program, isolation of people who are infected. It's going to take another shutdown for a while until, the fires burn down to embers, and then we can start going around putting out the embers. But that's how we've got to do it. But when we look at what this COVID virus is doing to people, it's breathtaking. And what I find particularly fascinating is, to a certain extent, science is sort of catching up with us and we're figuring a lot of these things out now. But also, now that it's hitting the red states, 75% of the new infections last week were in states that Donald Trump won. Now that it's hitting the red states, suddenly Mike Pence is wearing a mask. Donald Trump is talking masks. Good. Yeah, good. It's like suddenly all the Republicans are getting religion. They're getting COVID religion. Well, part of it may have to do with some of these new studies that are coming out about what this virus does, how it affects us. The New York Times, Pam Bellick reporting, the headline, "They want to kill me. Many COVID patients have terrifying delirium." Kim Victory was paralyzed on a bed and being burned alive. Just in time, someone rescued her, but suddenly she was turned into an ice sculpture on a fancy cruise ship buffet. Next, she was the subject of an experiment in a lab in Japan. Then she was being attacked by cats. Nightmarish visions like these plagued Ms. Victory during her hospitalization this spring for the coronavirus. They made her so agitated that one night she pulled her ventilator breathing tube out. Another time, she fell off a chair and landed on the floor of the ICU. She said, "It was so real. I was so scared." She's, by the way, 31 years old, Franklin, Tennessee. The New York Times reports, to a startling degree, many coronavirus patients are reporting similar experiences. It's called hospital delirium. Previously, hospital delirium was almost exclusively something that happened to elderly patients who were already experiencing dementia. And when you give them a little bit of anesthetic or painkiller, they can just go off the rails. But now it's happening to teenagers. It's happening to people in their 20s. It's happening to people in their 30s. It's happening to people in their 40s. It's happening to people in their 50s, none of whom have any history of dementia, but all of whom share one characteristic: they're infected with COVID-19. And the Times goes on to say delirium can have detrimental consequences long after it lifts. Previously healthy adults with delirium can develop dementia sooner than they otherwise would have and can die earlier. Dr. Lawrence Kaplan, director of psychiatry at the University of California, San Francisco Medical Center, said, quote, "It is actually far more devastating than most people realize." This from another New York Times article, a completely separate one. It's called "How the Coronavirus Short Circuits the Immune System." In many patients hospitalized with the coronavirus, the immune system is threatened by a depletion of certain essential cells, suggesting eerie parallels to HIV. Growing research points to, quote, "very complex immunological signatures of the virus, including a loss of virus-fighting T cells in part of the body." And nobody knows if this is going to last for the rest of your life or not, this immune-compromising effect of COVID. Down in Florida, 7,000 kids under the age of 18 have now tested positive for the coronavirus. A dozen of them have this disease, MIS-C. This, it's like Kawasaki syndrome. It can lead to death. 2 of these kids have already died. A 17-year-old boy in Pasco County, a 16-year-old girl in Lee County. They have died from getting coronavirus in Florida. And there's another 7,000 sick kids. 155 of them are in the hospital. These are children under 18 in just one state. Meanwhile, Inside Edition, the kind of muckraking TV show, they have this, they went into the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C., And they have this, they were printing the program's logo on bed sheets, pillowcases, and towels using a washable spray. It'll wash out real easy, and it's invisible, it's transparent, but when you shine UV light on it, it glows purple. The Trump International, so they checked into a hotel room, sprayed the sheets, the pillowcases, the towels, the room with this stuff, spraying the Inside Edition logo, with this stuff. And then they checked out, and then they checked into the same room the next day after it had been presumably cleaned. It turns out the Trump Hotel changed the bed sheets, but did not change the pillowcase. Right. The pillowcase still showed the Inside Edition logo when they hit it with fluorescent light. And the Trump Hotel failed to wipe down the desk and failed to wipe down the TV remote control. A hotel spokesman accused the program of fabricating the stunt. It was a hoax. Yes, this is Donald Trump's go-to excuse.